I'm Herbert Moore, one of the co-founders of WiseBanyan. Up there you see a lot of self-aggrandizements, overstated achievements, and fancy degrees and designations that we have. But more importantly, I'm here with Jennifer Chin, our Chief Science Officer, and we're here to talk to you about WiseBanyan, and then we'd like to talk to you about how we built our data warehouse, and then how we leverage that data warehouse to provide better data-driven advice to our clients. What is WiseBanyan? At WiseBanyan, we want you to invest your first dollar, and then we want to take you all the way to meaningful goals and financial achievements. And so clients come to WiseBanyan, they define goals that they'd like to achieve, and then we manage everything in the background. So we are a FINRA member broker-dealer and an SEC-registered investment advisor. We've built out all of the infrastructure, from the portfolio recommendation engines to the trading infrastructure. We're now processing over 250,000 trades a month, and then to the reallocation engines that keep our clients on track. We primarily target millennials. Our average new client is 31 years old and makes $90,000 a year, and we are their most important financial relationship. They're putting 15 to 20% of their disposable income onto WiseBanyan most of the time, and 71% of those clients are then creating auto deposits and continuing to drive towards those financial goals directly on WiseBanyan. So here's a quick snapshot of how it works. Clients come to us, it's very intuitive for them. They define a goal, and then we build that underlying portfolio. The portfolios differ based on the goal, the time horizon that they're trying to reach. But more importantly, we're the place they keep coming back to. They come to us for financial advice, and as they keep coming back to us, giving us more and more of their financial data, we can guide and influence their behavior, not just towards their saving and investing, but also towards their spending. And again, this is the most valuable client base. They're coming to us immediately before the largest period of financial services consumptions. We have a tremendous opportunity to provide them with better, data-driven, actionable advice throughout their financial lives. So the power of personalized recommendations is enormous. If you know your client the best, you're the best positioned to provide that better advice. And also, if they keep coming back to you, you have that opportunity. And so with data, we seek to reach and acquire the most valuable clients. We track every single behavior that they do on WiseBanyan, and then we get insights into how they're interacting with us and what they're driving towards next. And most importantly, after we know these clients the best, we can then use that data to provide better data-driven recommendations for them. And as we're their most important financial relationship, the place they keep coming back to, that opportunity is tremendous.
So, as Herbert mentioned, data is pivotal to our business. Our transactional databases sit across 8 microservices, and overall, these databases grow about 10% every month as we add new clients and increase client engagement. Every month, we also execute 250,000 trades for our clients, and these orders are sent to our custodian, Apex Clearing. And we also use a variety of third-party services to help us do things like connect with banks, send emails, and do paid ad marketing. These pieces together form the core of the WiseBanyan application. And the WiseBanyan application is incredibly robust. We have to execute hundreds of thousands of transactions seamlessly and log those meticulously. So our infrastructure and our systems are built not just to facilitate scale, but also for ultimate reliability in a zero-defect environment. We also use a lot of analytics tools. And the WiseBanyan application runs on 3 platforms: web, iOS, and Android. And client behavior on each of these platforms is just slightly different. So by logging all the client interactions, we can provide personalized recommendations at just the right moment. We combine this analytics data with the client feedback that our operations team collects, and these regular client interactions generate the kind of data that allow us to react quickly to client needs. And this has helped us achieve a net promoter score that is double, even quadruple, most financial institutions. So the difficulty, of course, is that all this data sits in different places. And in order to truly utilize the full potential of this data, we need to bring it all together into a central data repository, a data warehouse, so that everyone can access that data and find insights to make data-driven decisions. So when creating our data pipeline, we had 4 major considerations. The first, security and privacy. As a financial institution, we hold a lot of sensitive information about our clients, and we have to protect that. There are pipeline solutions out there that help you move your data from one place to another, but we very quickly ruled these out because we didn't want our data to flow through a third party. As a forward-leaning company, we're also constantly thinking about how do we build a better product faster, and being fast and agile is one of our competitive advantages. So there are enterprise solutions out there, sort of all-in-one, full-featured, they do everything. But setting up one of those can take a lot of time and resources. And after you do all that, you have vendor lock-in, so you're stuck with that product for a while. For us, we wanted to find a tool that focused on what we needed now, but would still be able to adapt with us as we continue to scale. And this is really a reflection of our just-in-time engineering culture of continuous integration and continuous deployment. And finally, cost. Lower is always better, and this could be in the form of lower upfront costs, but perhaps even more importantly is a predictable cost structure for our business as we continue to scale. For every new client that WiseBanyan brings on, we have nearly zero marginal cost on the technology side. And every practice that we use, every service that we use, needs to support that part of our business model. So with these 4 considerations, we looked to specialized open source solutions to help build our data pipeline. So here's an overview of what the data pipeline looks like. And you'll see a lot of pretty standard parts up there. We have data from a variety of different sources. All that data goes into the ETL pipeline, and then from there it gets loaded into the data warehouse. Once it's in the warehouse, everyone in the company can access that data through a business intelligence interface, or we have specially designed dashboards that we've created just for operations. So access is what we're going for here. We want everyone in the company to be able to get to that data that comes from across all of the different teams, and use all of that data to make decisions. So the data itself comes in a lot of different formats. Our own databases are primarily MySQL databases. From Apex Clearing, we tend to get flat files and CSVs. And for the third-party services that we use, they each have their own export file formats or data export APIs. Currently, the primary language of our platform is PHP. So it was a clear choice for us, although maybe an unusual choice for other people, a clear choice for us to write our ETL jobs in PHP. And this would allow us to really get up and running very quickly. Writing code for the ETL process is not the most difficult part. In fact, what quickly becomes difficult is managing the workflow and managing the dependencies of the jobs in that process. And we have some experience with this. Previously, on our transactional side of things, we designed and built our own automation and scheduling system. But very quickly, just due to the sheer volume of transactions that we were executing and the expansion of responsibilities as we continually launched new client services, it became apparent that having a reactive workflow framework wouldn't be very reliable for us. So when we set out to design our data pipeline, we knew we had to be proactive and find a tool that supports rapid growth and continuous deployment. And for that tool, we found Airflow. On the business intelligence tool side of things, there are certainly a lot of very established BI tools out there. Some of them can be quite tricky to implement, and most of them require some SQL knowledge in order to really use the tool. For us, it was imperative that everyone in the company be able to work with the data. And when I say everyone, I mean everybody from marketing to compliance. And so not knowing SQL couldn't be a blocker for us. And since everybody would be using the tool, we also wanted something that prioritized collaboration. And for us, we found our answer in Metabase. So let me introduce you to Airflow. Airflow is a workflow management system developed by Airbnb. And if you go to their GitHub page, you'll see a large list of companies that are officially using Airflow. And you'll definitely recognize some of the names on that list. For example, Airbnb, of course, but also ING, Lyft, Stripe. And these are all companies with massive amounts of consumer data from disparate sources. Airflow manages a network of jobs in a DAG, a directed acyclic graph. And this configuration is written in code, which means it's easy to modify and you can version it. Airflow also comes with a very intuitive user interface and makes it super easy to monitor your jobs and monitor the stats around those jobs. And finally, Airflow is built to scale, which is paramount for us as we're experiencing rapid growth. With Airflow, it manages workers that execute jobs in a parallel and distributed fashion, so that as our own pipeline gets more complicated, it will be easy to expand to handle that load. And Metabase. Metabase is a relatively new BI tool. The company itself is about 2 years old, but it's been quite impressive how quickly they take feedback and improve their product. With Metabase, you create questions, which is their version of a query, and you don't need any SQL knowledge in order to do that. Certainly, if you do know some SQL, you can create much more complex queries, and Metabase allows you to store those too. So with our implementation of Metabase, we've been able to quickly slice and dice our data and put together plots to create beautiful dashboards. And these questions and dashboards, they're shared, which makes collaboration totally effortless. Metabase has just been awesome for our product and marketing teams. Basically, in real time, they can see the efficacy of new campaigns or upgrades to the user experience. In my opinion, I would say that the major downside of Metabase is that it's not as full-featured as some of the more established tools in some behind-the-scenes areas. But for us, Metabase is a great choice right now, and if we ever outgrow it, we can always switch because there's no lock-in with using this product. And the flexibility for us to switch to a different product is an important way for us to stay agile. So as a data-driven company, our data team works directly with engineering, product, marketing, and operations. And we iteratively work with these teams to add more and more data into our data warehouse, into the ecosystem. And having this central data repository where everyone can access data from across all the teams generates immediate business value. We can now very quickly identify new trends and find new insights to make better, more informed decisions. And at WiseBanyan, we also foster a data exploration mentality. This is more than just having access to the data. It means actively encouraging every individual to ask and answer their own complex questions. So would you believe that our general counsel can actually write SQL queries? Because it's true. So one of my favorite stories is that just a few months ago, our onboarding completion rate was 26%, which is already very high for the industry. But this was something that we wanted to improve. So we had data from all the different sources, and we could see all of them. We had qualitative data from client feedback, quantitative data from our analytics, email data, marketing data, everything. We brought it all together, and we were able to quickly design and implement a series of split tests that rapidly boosted our completion rate by 20% in just 3 months. And results like this is what makes everybody at WiseBanyan extremely excited about the power of data. So, in conclusion, by choosing open source technology, by choosing Airflow and Metabase, we were able to bring our data warehouse from design to production in just 4 months with a team of 3. And these two products really fit in with our agile engineering. And the speed of implementation speaks not just to the ability of our team and the quality of these products, but also to the passion we have for leveraging actionable real-time data insights. And this is just the beginning. Thank you.